this is your reminder to get your blood work. So I am on the way to go get some blood work done. It's from a company called Function Health. It's called Function Health, and I'm loving the care in the way that they keep reminding me about my appointment, what to expect. So this is like, I got an email about a week out. Well, it actually told me every single week up until my appointment what I need to do, what I need to prepare for. And this is like, they sent me like this whole beautiful breakdown of like what I should do to get focused for this appointment, which I think is really, really cool. So this whole thing, so they're like, you know, drink at least 1 liter of water, good hydration. So this is before the visit. I needed to be fasted, so I'm fasted right now. Bring my ID, of course. It says give yourself a 30-minute window to check in and testing your blood and your urine. And it says, so this is full transparency. So this company reached out to me. It's called Function Health, and I'll read more about it. I'm going to drive to it actually right now, and then I'll read more about it when I get there. But I wanted to tell you guys a couple things that impressed me that made me even say, okay, yeah, I actually will use this company. I'm okay with using this company. So I, just like everybody else, I don't like getting blood work done. Like, who does? Like, who likes to get poked, right? So, oh wow, it's very easy to get there. Okay, so I'll be there shortly. So, just like most people don't like getting poked. Maybe some people do, I don't know, but I don't. And they reached out to me, and at first I thought it was a scam email because there's just so many emails that we all get, right? So I was like, okay, this actually looks like a legit email. Let me do some more research. So I didn't click on the link inside the website or inside the email, because sometimes you can click on a link inside of an email and you think it's going to take you to somewhere and it takes you to somewhere else. So that could be a scam. So I did not do that. It had the email. So I clicked out of the email and I looked them up on Instagram. And I also looked them up on the email or on the website that the Instagram said that they had. Okay. And so what I did was, like, I was like, okay, this looks really cool. They have like over 500,000 followers, I believe. Some of those could be bought, so I still wasn't like completely sold, but I'm like, okay, there's a lot of like, you know, endorsements, like people that have affluence that are endorsing this Function Health brand. So I'm like, okay, I'm reading the comments are real, the likes are real. I'm like looking into this. And so what I do is I'm like, okay, if this is really meant for me to use this service, they will respond. So I screenshotted the email that was sent to me, and I DM'd them and I said, hey, is this you? Like, is this legit? If so, I would love to use the service, but if not, then, you have a scam, someone is scamming you guys. So whoever's running the Instagram page reached out and said, no, they are legit. By the way, too, there was a lot of there was actually surprisingly some people that I follow that were following this page, and like a lot of like celebrities were following the page. And so I'm like, okay, this is a real page. It's not like a scam page, right? So just, you always want to make sure to just go the extra mile to do your research on this stuff, because you just never know. So I screenshotted it. They said, yes, it's us. I said, okay, wow, awesome. They said it's completely free for a year, and it's a membership for a year to, get your blood work done. So essentially, the blood work comes with two full-on panels, and which I think is awesome. And I needed to do this anyway for my yearly checkup. So I'm like, well, why don't I just utilize this service? And I'm not like attached to like one particular doctor or anything. So I was like, okay, let me go ahead and use this service. And so I signed up. It gave me a very extensive, it's called Function Health, by the way, Function Health, if anyone wants to look it up. They gave me a very extensive, full, it felt like a long time, but to fill out this survey. But I liked it though, because it was very, very specific, and I liked that it felt like it was being tailored to me. That's the biggest thing. Sometimes some of these things are generic and you just get your blood work done and then they're like, they have no reference points. Okay, well, maybe this is why your blood work is popping up, or you said you answered this question. So I'm going to see what my experience is, but so I am getting a full, and I'm going to actually, when I park, I'm going to read you guys what kind of blood work I'm getting done, and full transparency, what they're, the type of blood work has to be done on your cycle. So they do two types of blood work. They do one type of blood work while you're on your cycle, and then you wait 10 more days, and then you go back and get like another round of blood work. And then that's when how they are able to do this extensive analyzing on your blood work. And so that's what I'm doing. And I like that. I've never been told to specifically get blood work done when on my cycle. So I thought that that was very interesting. And I'm very interested to see the results based on that, because I don't think I've ever done that in my life, in my entire life, right? If anything, I've avoided it, like, oh, you know. And for the men on here, it is what it is. You're gonna have a daughter one day. Maybe you have a daughter, you have a wife, a girlfriend, a sister, an auntie. So don't be weirded out. It's just a part of life. So, okay. So I'm gonna get a full, like this full entire panel. And Function Health, they do all these other really cool tests that you can do. You can get like your age longevity tested, which I eventually want to do. You can do a heavy metal test, which I don't know if I'm going to get tested for that within this one. I hope I do. I'm going to double check it. They do all these like specific kinds of tests. You guys, it's just super important. Like, if you are struggling to lose weight, or you have like crazy acne, or you just feel like you're extra stressed, like abnormally stressed, like where everybody else is like at a 5 of stress, and you're always at like hovering at like a 9 and a 10 all the time, and you could really have a crazy serious hormonal imbalance. If you're a woman, you know, 34, 35, 36, and you're starting to notice that you just feel like your mood is just completely off, you get knocked off your rocker very easily, like you might want to go get a hormonal panel test done. I think it's super important for, I mean, every year you should be doing this anyway, but I think that with this particular test, what I liked, it just seems so detailed. It's not just like, oh, you know, you're getting like a quick blood work done, and it's like, oh, your vitamin D's low. Get a vitamin D supplement. Like, I feel like a lot of them are like, or your iron's low, you know, or, you know, just like the very basic ones where it's like, okay, that's good. You know, I need to get more iron in, or I need to get more, whatever in. But it's like this one, when I looked at it, I was like, oh my gosh, like how much blood are they going to actually be taking? So I'm a little like weirded out, you know, just because who likes to get poked and get blood taken? Like, who likes to do that? So I'm going to be doing that. And this is your reminder to do that as well. Call up your doctor. If you haven't gotten your blood work done, get it done. I know it sucks. I know it's not fun, but it's also not fun when you find out that there's an issue later, and if you would have just done your checkups, like you would have been able to catch things early, right? And I think a lot of times people don't want to catch, they're like, well, if it's out of sight, out of mind, right? Like if I just don't get the work done, the blood work done, or the testing done, then it just doesn't exist. And it's like, well, no, it pops up and it rears its ugly head. And the thing is, for me, you know, I am headed for 40. And so these things, you know, are super important when wanting to make sure that as a fully grown woman, you are understanding like your hormonal changes, your hormonal shifts, how hormones are starting to operate in your body compared to how they were when they were younger. You could feel, like a lot of women feel, hello, how's it going? So I'm talking about blood work today. So this is a reminder, I'm actually on my way to go get some blood work done. But, you know, especially for women, and I'm sure men have a version of this too. Like there is, I saw the little party. Oh, I'm trying to mentally psych myself into like getting this, like getting poked right now. But you know, as a woman, as a man, you know, especially heading into the 40s, you want to make sure you are understanding this body and maximizing this body in this stage. Because I think, you know, men and women will feel like they can do things that they used to do and they'll have the same results that they had when they were 22, 23, 24. And when you start turning 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, it's just different. It just is. Doesn't mean you're over the hill. It doesn't mean that you're, you know, halfway, 1 foot in the coffin. Like, it's just a different body, right? So there's different things happening. And so I wanted to share that with you guys. And so it's again, like I said, full transparency. This company reached out to me. I was like, well, I already have insurance. I was just, you know, going to use whatever doctors fit my insurance that I have. But then this company, like, I really liked what I was seeing on the website. I really liked the comments that I saw on the Instagram. I liked the reviews that I saw on the website as well. I just liked kind of like how thorough and detailed and tailored it seems to be. So I don't know what the finishing outcome is. Again, I'm literally on the way right now. So this is raw, uncut, in the moment. I have no idea, like, the service. I have no idea, you know, also when I get my results, I will, you know, share my results. I don't want to, you know, tell all my business, right? But I will share some results, you know, my experience with my results at least. And I'm excited to do this. So if you want to look them up, their name is Function Health. And what was interesting, I don't know, I just love The Rock. And again, they did not reach out to me and lure me in with The Rock at all. But like, I haven't met anybody that doesn't love The Rock for some reason. Like, you love him for something, whether it's the wrestling that he did, whether it's the acting, whether it's him being a dad, whether it's him, you know, being a tequila connoisseur, whether it's his personality. Like, there's just something that everybody, I feel like, on the planet enjoys about The Rock. So I'm vouching for this, and I was like, okay. Like, I know that that's not also a good reason, but like, again, on top of my own personal research with like the other everyday people, you know, type of reviews, the everyday people comments, there was some really good stuff that I saw. So I do want to, you know, kind of acknowledge that, but it was nice to see The Rock on there. And when it comes to your blood work, especially when you're 35 and up, the more tailored, the better. You know, your body is shifting, it's going through different things, it's changing. It's been on the planet for a long time. You know, it's like a car. Like, it's been on the planet for a long time, so it needs extra love, extra care to make sure that it can run at its optimal level, even though it's been around for a while. Hey, C, I couldn't find the link to the phone or the card. Oh, no worries, no worries. I'll end up finding one. Thank you, though. He seems like a cool guy. Yeah, I mean, you know, I don't know the guy, but I just feel like The Rock has been pretty protective over like stuff that like he doesn't actually believe in. I mean, and again, a lot of people do things just for money. We all know that. But I didn't even, like I said, I didn't even see The Rock until I was like scrolling through the page, and I was like, oh, The Rock is like using this service. I was like, okay, cool. So there's that. And again, the questionnaire was like, it was so detailed that like it felt invasive, which I know is a good thing, but it's like, it is scary to kind of like put your information in there, you know, into this questionnaire. But then I also was like, okay, you know, I am giving as much information as possible, so that way when I get my results, like they can have all these data points and come up with something specific for me, you know, on something that I need to enhance or do better, or, you know, whatever. So if you have not gotten your blood work done, definitely get your blood work done. It's super important, especially for women. If you feel like you just cannot lose the weight, if you feel like you just wake up feeling puffy, feeling crazy, feeling full of water, you just feel like everything you're doing, you've tried everything, I almost can guarantee, when I've done my own research, when I've had my own experiences, it's something hormonal. It's something hormonal. So, because at the end of the day, if you are eating healthy, if you're burning more calories than what you're eating, it doesn't make sense not to be able to lose weight. Like, it's just science. So if you're not able to lose the weight, there's something off balance, there's something off harmony inside of your body. Okay? And so that's why I'm also I'm also on the way to getting that figured out for myself, because I've been stuck at hovering, at 136 for super long. And I'm like, okay, I wonder if it has something to do with my hormones. Because in the past, if I wanted to get to a certain number on the scale, I could just do it, right? So it has to do with, of course, being on the planet for longer, having to, just being a woman, your cycle, all these different factors. There's so many factors that are going on at one time. So I'm like, okay, yeah, let me see what's going on. Again, I'm 5'7", I'm 136 pounds. I feel great, right? But again, when I got that body scan done, and they're like, if you want to look like an athlete, you got to do this extra tier of work, like next level of work, next embodiment, next pursuit, right? I was like, okay, I'll be able to do that. I can mentally check in. And like I did. And like here's the thing too. I want to also acknowledge being proud of myself, because I was able to lose 4 pounds very easily. Like when I started doing the meal prepping, when I started doing the calorie counting, which is so annoying to me, but I was actually able to burn more calories than I was intaking. And I lost like 4.5 pounds super fast. And I was like, wow, I don't think I realized I was overtaking on sodium. You need sodium, but then too much isn't good for you either. I was overdoing it with the honey, putting honey in my tea. I was overdoing it with all the oils. I was overdoing it with the butter, right? Like all those things that like, oh, well, a scoop here and there, and a peanut butter scoop here and there. It just doesn't seem like a big deal. And that's what was holding me back from my ability to like get to the next level, So I'm actually really proud of myself for that. And there was some things that I was doing that I was just doing too much. So it was keeping me around like 139, 140, 141. Like I would always kind of hover between that. And now I'm just hovering between, 136, 137. So I want to get to that 132 while also maintaining my muscle, which I know I lost a little bit of it, which is kind of disappointing, but it's an adjustment when you're trying to figure this out. What kind of blood work? So I'm gonna, as soon as I park here, I'm gonna actually sit down, and because I have a little bit of time before my appointment starts. I have to be there at 9:50, like 9:45, and I should arrive there in the next 10 minutes. So I'll have some time to like actually go through what blood work I'm getting done with this company. And I'm excited about it. So it's not just like your basic normal, everyday panel. It's like an extensive one, which maybe I had one when I was like in my early 20s, but I haven't had like an extensive full-on blood work. So I'm actually really excited, even though I don't want to get poked. I'm actually excited about it. So another thing too that you have to make sure to do with this, that they're like, you need to make sure to be fasted, which by the way, I feel like when you go get blood work done at like a normal, like you set it up with like a normal doctor's appointment, unless you have like excellent top tier insurance, you kind of just get the basic treatment, and they're just like, okay, yeah, your appointment's at 10 a.m., right? And then you might be like, well, okay, do I need to be prepared for anything, right? They gave me an entire list of what I need to be prepared for. So they're like, do not take any supplements. So any vitamins, unless you have a doctor's prescription, like for medication. I don't have any medications. I'm not on any medications, so I didn't have to worry about that. But they were like, do not take any supplements. So no vitamins, no supplements, which I'm sure I've done that in the past. I'm sure I've taken vitamins and then went and gotten blood work done, right? And then it threw off my blood work and didn't even know it. So no supplements 24 hours before. You have to be completely fasted for 10 hours before the appointment. only thing you can have is literally water. What else? They said, oh, no heavy workout. You know how, that's what we do on this channel. We're a community that works out. We love to move our body. So I was about to get it, like, I would have been working out hard, yesterday. I probably would have tried to squeeze in a workout this morning before my blood work. Like, I'm sure I've done that before, but they're like, no working out, the day before, the morning of, and even after, like, for like 24 to 36 hours, do not work out, which I'm like, okay, because, they're going to be taking blood. And then what else? I'll be able to read what they said, but it was very thorough. Oh, they're like, for your appointment, make sure you have your favorite podcast ready. Make sure your phone is charged. Make sure that's going right now. Make sure you bring your AirPods or whatever, so that way you can sit back and feel comfortable and cozy and like taken care of while you're doing this. So I thought that was just really cool, because you don't really think about that. Like, sometimes you can go in for blood work. It's cold in there. It's just like, you hear the doctors talking and the nurses, and it's just kind of like bland looking, and like the environment of getting your blood work done can just feel like a little intimidating. It can feel a little scary. It can feel weird, right? Hello, Nilesh. Hello. Welcome. So it can feel kind of wild, right? So I like that they were like, be prepared with, bring your iPod, bring your phone. You're allowed to be on your phone. So I like that. What else did they say that I was impressed with? Oh, and then they also instructed on what to do after, eating just super healthy, whole foods, after. So I already, I pretty much, that's mainly my diet anyway. By the way, tribe, I'm going to be relaunching the 20,000 steps. I know this month was just weird. Like, I was super gung-ho about it. I was able to do it like 4 or 5 times out of the month, but like, just some things have popped up. And 20,000 steps is you have to really plan it out. Like, you genuinely, 10,000 steps, no problem. Like, 10,000 steps is like easy peasy. 20,000 is like genuine extra effort. So I was like, I can't, like, this feels like I was trying to keep track in my head, and what was demotivating me was that I didn't have something to track. So I finally got this in the mail. It's stainless steel, my calorie counter, my steps counter. It counts my blood pressure, my sleep, all of that. So I got this in the mail, and I was like, okay, now I actually feel motivated, because it was like a kind of annoying trying to track it in my head. Like, and then I don't like wearing an Apple Watch. I don't have an Apple Watch for that reason. I just don't like how it looks. Like, I just think it's bulky, and they're cool, but like, I just didn't want to wear an Apple Watch all day. So that was out. And then I was like, man, I gotta get my ring again, because I had lost my first one. So this is the one that I have. It's really, really cool. It counts everything. It's stainless steel. It can get wet, so I do take it off, like if I'm washing dishes, or I take it, when I'm taking a bath or a shower. But like, if you sweat while you're working out, you don't have to worry about it getting messed up. It's designed for that. So I will actually, if anyone's interested, I'll link it down below. But now I'm checked in, like, because I was like, this is just too much. I'm like trying to run a business. I'm trying to, run an online business, do content, like all this stuff. I don't have time to be catching this, or counting this in my head, right? Okay. Let's see, I'm almost at my destination. And I'm about to pull in, like, in a little bit. I'll be able to tell you guys what kind of blood work I'm doing. Also, too, I'm happy to answer any questions. I know I haven't been on for over the weekend. So any questions about health, fitness, mindfulness. Like I said, I will be relaunching the 20,000 steps for August. Look, if you guys did it this month, like, literally, y'all got it, right? But I just know I kind of fell off after about 2.5 weeks. I was just like, this is just not realistic for me right now. So, but I got the calorie counting ring, so I'm back in the game. If you want to do it, everybody, I have a free completely free downloadable guide on how to ease in to the 20,000 steps. I myself thought, and I'm going to be like following that guide to a T, because I already tried it out this, for this, I've already kind of eased in, so I'll be able to, work my way up to the 20,000 steps. But essentially the guide helps you start out with like 7,000 steps. It works you up to 10,000 steps. It works you up to 12,000, 17,000, then to 20,000. And because on average, most people only walk about 4,000 steps a day. And it's true. Now that I have this ring, my average steps during like a particular, it was like 5 days in a row, it was like barely anything. It was because I was just really focused and trying to get some projects done for my TikTok shops. And I noticed I was sitting a lot. And I looked, and on average, I was walking like 4,000 to 5,000 steps. I was like, oh my gosh, no. So I'm happy that I have this calorie counting ring again and the step counter, counting my steps again, because you can just like, you can feel like you moved. Like if you maybe, I don't know, like walked really long to your car, or like you had to take the steps or the stairs somewhere, or, maybe you were maybe you were standing for a while, so it can give you the illusion that you are walking, but you're just not. Like you got to really get in your steps. So I highly encourage everybody. This was like less than $20. Like there's ones out there for like $200, $300, which I will eventually get, but I was like, I just want something to be able to say, look, you're at 7,000 steps right now. That's it. Like, I don't really need it. And I like that it does track my sleep. So that's actually really cool. And it's actually scarily accurate. Like it'll tell me how many times I woke up in the middle of the night, and I'll like look at it and it'll be like, you woke up 2 times. And I'm like, I did wake up 2 times. Like that's crazy that it was able to track that. And I think it's able to track it based on your breathing pattern, like your heart rate and your breathing changes when you're awake as opposed to when you're asleep. So it can tell when you're awake because of that. I'll be able to read you guys' comments in a second. I'm about to pull in a little bit. So get you one of these if anyone wants to do it with me. I'm relaunching the 20,000 steps challenge because I really want to, lose this extra 4 pounds. I want to give myself a real shot at this, and I know it's going to require me doing something kind of like abnormal, because my body's at a comfortable, healthy weight right now. It doesn't need to be 132 pounds. But because I got that body scan and, from a professional, they were like, well, you're healthy, but like, why not push yourself to the next level, like, and look like an athlete? And I'm like, you know what? Why not? You're right. Like, why not? Why not? Okay, I'm about to park. You guys, I'm hungry. I actually pushed my intermittent fasting window up. So I'm usually up at 6 in the morning, like maybe 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. I don't eat guaranteed for the first hour or two, and then I'll eat like around 8:30, and it's still something light, like a parfait or like a piece of fruit or something, just really just chill and light. But yeah, it's 9 o'clock. It used to be flipped. I used to wait as long as I could in the morning, but I actually was doing some research, especially for women, and it's kind of like I think like from society's standpoint, it's like, oh, you have a big dinner at night, like it's part of the vibe. I feel like the lighting is like, I feel like I can't really, hold on real quick. Let me actually park in a different spot so I can see the chat. It's very like glary on my end. But yeah, like, it's like, okay, if I'm going to be working and moving and, just being active, I need my fuel in the daytime. Really, I don't necessarily need the fuel at night. Like, I would push my windows super late. And then I pushed it super late. And I shortened it. And I'm like, okay, that was fun. And I think that there's seasons that you could do that, or should do that actually, to kind of like reset your body. Oh, sorry. I think that there's seasons that you do that to reset your body, but I just was like, I want to eat in the morning. Like I want to have